Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, wherever you are in the world. It's lovely to have you here. Thank you for coming to this PronSIG IATEFL webinar. Today, we're delighted to be offering something for younger learners. And the title of this webinar is Pronunciation Tips and Tricks for Teachers of Younger Learners, which takes a natural approach towards tackling the issue of pronunciation in young learner teaching, with respect to individual differences in their L2 acquisition. And to deliver this, we are delighted to be welcoming Sylvie Doláková. Hello. And she is a teacher trainer working freelance for Masaryk University Brno, Nile, Norwich and the British Council. Sylvie focuses on teaching English to children aged 4 to 15 through art and stories, publishes language games in a project called Story-Based Krill, which won the Pearson ELT Teachers Award for Best Innovation, Pronunciation Basket, which is a set of pronunciation tips and tricks, and she presents at numerous conferences, teacher training events, and webinars. Sylvie, we're delighted to have you with us today, and I'd like to hand the floor to you for today's presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Adam. Hello, everyone. Welcome you to my presentation on pronunciation to young learners and very young learners. You might think, how does she dare to speak about pronunciation with her strong accent? Well, I had to learn everything. And I started with books, so no intonation, no pronunciation whatsoever 30 years ago. So I worked very hard to reach at least a standard teacher's pronunciation. And as I was teaching mostly children in kindergarten, primary schools and lower secondary schools, then I tried to design activities for them to master the art of pronunciation much earlier than I did. So I'm going to share some activities with you. First, I planned 12. The organizers said, oh, it's too many. So I've got 14. I hope we will have time to go through all of them. Yeah, Adam, can you help me, please? I would like to shift my presentation, but it doesn't work.
If you press the forward arrow, does that work?
No, it doesn't do anything.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, now it works. Thank you. So first, let's speak. Why is pronunciation important for learners? And then why is pronunciation important for the teacher? So learners should learn pronunciation to be understood and to understand each other, because if they acquire bad habits, they wouldn't be able to understand each other. And now, why is pronunciation important for the teacher? Because you must be a good model. You must model the good pronunciation to children so that they acquire it. You should provide them with efficient pronunciation techniques to make sure they can imitate the sound precisely. And moreover, you have to take care so that they can enjoy the pronunciation exercises. So let's have a look. I'm a teacher, I love testing. I would like to hear you. Unfortunately, it's not possible, but how do you say this very basic word? I always test teachers in my workshops, and they mostly say something like, hello. And I go like, I'm sorry, but you are a teacher. You must provide a good model for the children. So please don't be scared. I'm going to show you what is the trick. Can you see me? So if you can do the same, try. It's fantastic. Just place your arms in front of you and swing them backwards and say, hello. Can you hear the difference? Once again, hello. Now I'm going to try the weak pronunciation or bad pronunciation with O. Yeah? Hello. Not possible. If you swing your arms backwards, you are not able to say O because it's very closed sound. Okay, another word. Do I hear there or there? That's also a common mistake, even of teachers. So it's there, like look over there, but it's there from another reason. Maybe you estimate it's the sound TH. So how do we teach that sound? The best thing is to have this little thing. Do you know what it is? It's a lollipop. First, you must unpack the lollipop, which I obviously am not going to do. Then you have to start it a bit, and then you go this, that, father, mother, thank you. And it really works. Actually, this summer I tried with ice cream and it was also very good. So if you practice with the lollipop, you will be sure that your students will master this sound. Yeah. What is the difference between th and the? You can feel it either here or here. If you place your arms, it's individual. Some people feel it more here. Some people, like me, feel it here. And when you say this, that, father, yeah, you can feel the vibration. Yeah. Whereas if you say thank you, there's almost nothing. Yeah? The. So that's different. Still keep the stick of the lollipop for another sound. This is this one I'm going to show you. Red, robot, very. Especially the last word is very difficult for the children, even for the adults, because it combines V and R sound. But by the means of the stick, it's much better because in many languages, the R sound is vibrating a lot. Red, robot. Yeah, so if you put a stick inside your mouth, then you can say red, not red. So it's another trick. This one is very often mispronounced, is oven. This is owl, wet and vet. So this is another trouble that your learners might face, that bilabial W sound, because V exists in many languages. You lean your teeth towards the lip and then you say V. That's okay, but W doesn't involve teeth. So you need to do something, I call it physical violence, but it's not, definitely. You just ask learners to say something with a W sound and you gently press their lips like this. I'm going to say van, such as the little car, yeah? One, no, it's one. Okay, it really helps to make the sound different. So if you are facing this problem, don't forget, this little movement will help you. Finger, singer. A lot of people pronounce it in the very same way, either finger singer or finger singer, but both are pronounced differently. You can recognize that if you put away that ER at the end. If it is an existing word, what is left, then you can't hear anything, singer. If you remove ER from the first word, this doesn't exist. So we say finger. Yeah, but you may suspect, why is this couple of words here? Because of that ng sound. Because sometimes you can hear thinking instead of singing. It can be a big problem even with teenagers. So I made this activity, or did this activity. I hope you will see me. Oh, no. Sorry. You must be able to see me sitting in a hangar. My knees go slightly apart and I'm holding the bars of a beautiful motorcycle. So when I set the motor or the engine, I have to make sure I don't have the accident because the road is very curvy. Yeah, so so first we practice like this, and then I say a word and the learners must write with the word. So let's go singing. Can you join me, please? 10 centimeters at the end of your chair. You hold the bar and let's go. Sing. Does it work? It does. Provided you didn't sit on Harley Davidson. This doesn't work because it's got that bubbly sound, which is more sinking, king. Yeah. So try, even with teenagers, they would think you are silly, but they would enjoy the activity, definitely. Okay, how about this one? Man, men. Bag, bag. Set, sat. To distinguish between two very similar sounds, is very difficult for almost everyone. So let's try to make this white sound. Sometimes it helps if you say you are at the doctor's, they want to examine your throat. So open your mouth to say but then say which means in our language, no, I'm not going to do that. It helps only in some countries, but mango is an international expression. So imagine you are a monkey, a very hungry monkey and a very greedy one. You have just found a huge mango. Can you show me your mango? And now you are going to gulp it in one go. Let's go. It's my mango. And this really works because it's in the middle of the word. Whereas when you examine your throat, you always close your mouth again and say it incorrectly. This one works in the middle of words. So don't forget to try being a monkey in your classroom. Now, I would like to see you doing this activity. Actually, I'm interested, where is the stress, if you know? Sometimes it's difficult to hear it. So I asked my learners to box in the air with the stressed syllable. So it's gorilla, kangaroo, giraffe, canary. And it's visible and you can easily see if they feel the stressed syllable. So this is the introduction. It's called pronunciation exercises. And you will see which categories we are going to tackle. So let's speak about individual sounds, phonemes, or sorry, I'm not very good at terminology. a more practical person. So first, a provocative question. Phonetic transcription to young learners, yes or no? Let's have a look what it is good for. So first, it's precise imitation of a sound, because if you have just one letter to express 3 different sounds, for example, ah, and you use just one of your mother tongue, then you will never reach precise pronunciation in your learners. If the children practice and they can see and check, then they feel confident in speaking production. And it's much easier to decode some words. For example, back, bag. The trouble is that the children have to learn both sound and the written form. And some teachers might consider it too complicated to teach. So let's have a look at one technique which seems very easy, but first we have to start quite early, before the children learn to read and write in English, but only in a receptive way, which means only you see, you produce the sound. We should never ask children to write transcription. It's a special subject at universities and special fields, so why to bother them with this? I found this fabulous worksheet in Primary Pronunciation Box, Cambridge University Press. You can see the resource down there. But unfortunately, I thought it's fantastic, but for older children, because first they have to learn how to read and write. Then they can do this activity, gray day. And they take a gray pencil and color in the little box. Green tree, and they color with a green pencil. That's fantastic, a very good idea, but definitely not suitable for little kids. So I stole this idea and I transform it into a very different material. You can have a look. First, we use two mats. I've got them here, so you can see what they look like. Here is the pink, here is the, oh, sorry. Here is the pink, here is the blue. And then I take little cards and place them and ask the learners if they can hear the same sound. Fish, pink. Which sound is the same? And they come with the idea I. Now, shoe, blue. Which sound is the same? It's oo. You see, I've got a lot of those little cards in color, but then I give them black and white pictures. Can you see that? Okay, so I will show you. Which tip, king, ship, pig, scooter, moon, broom, balloon, spoon. And they can hear the sound and decide whether they put the card onto a blue mat or a pink mat. It's very easy for very young learners. Even 5-year-olds are able to hear the difference. It has another benefit. It really, really helps the possible dyslexics, because dyslexia is a problem with hearing and seeing. So when they learn to distinguish the sound more precisely, then they have fewer problems later in reading and writing. So let's try. And this is my all scale of vowels. Now I'm going to click 20 times and you just revise pink fish, blue shoe, red dress, green leaf, orange dog, black hat, purple worm, white bike, gray snake, yellow soap, brown mouse. This color is called timber wolf, wolf hook, magenta, banana, plum, cup, auburn, horse, pear green, pear, chair, sienna, ear, khaki, car, turquoise, coin. And I didn't think of anything to cover those 20 words containing "were" sound until I came across azure, tourist. So you see how easy it is to take the color as a media of the sound, because children learn colors quite easily. So why not to compare sounds with the name of the color and the name of a word? So they manipulate with black and white pictures and they have to decide to which colored mat they place it. Difficult? I don't think so. Children can manage. So in my set, there are 444 words, because I don't know which scale of words you are using. So I put a lot of words that I used in my during my teaching practice. And I would like to introduce to you another activity. It's called shopping basket. And this is the fantastic thing that my material got its name from. These are actually little baskets. It's very easy to produce them. It's just this shape, and it's got the symbol which children perceive in connection with the color. So if they have this shopping basket, they look at all the pictures and take the picture that contains this sound. For example, dog, frog, what else? Sorry, too nervous to think. Box, oh yeah, sock. Yeah. Then we can have a blue one or any other different ones. Of course, we can use pronunciation baskets with consonants. Here, it doesn't depend on the color, just they have to be careful about the sound. It's fantastic, and the children simply love it, and the teachers do too. Okay, sorry. So this is about shopping baskets. And with the little cards in black and white, we can do a lot of pair work. So for example, imagine two students sitting facing each other. Each of them has this board with color coordinators and the same set of, let's say, 10 words. In between them, there is a box or something, some obstacle, so that they can't see each other's board. Player A places his or her pictures on the board. Player B gives the coordinators and asks, yellow and blue. I've got the tree in it, so I say tree. He or she takes the tree and places it in the first square. Then they ask, yellow and red, and I've got 3 there. So they hear 3, take the corresponding card and place it in the next. It's covered, they remove the obstacle and compare if they have both same boards. It's very good in terms of listening skills, speaking skills, pronunciation, and also for communication, because actually they do a dialogue in between them. which is fantastic because I teach children to use English to communicate. So that's sound discrimination. Do you remember this worksheet? Still, the children have to read and write if they want to do it. Here is my version. So they see fox, they take an orange pencil and color in the fox orange. They take black for pram, white for mice, it stays the same, red for dress, purple for worm, and green for jeans. But sometimes they find more features in the picture. For example, kite stays white, but it's got ribbons or bows in its tail. So they take yellow or pink and color it with these two colors. Rain is, of course, gray, but some might come up with the idea that the cloud can be brown. Isn't that fantastic? So they do the very same work. The only difference is they are much younger than those with the pronunciation box. Yeah. Okay. Now something for a bit older students. Phonemittens. I designed those mittens. They are double-sided. You put them on your hands and have them ready. And if the teacher or whoever says the word containing P, they raise up the P phonemitten. And if it contains B, they go up with B phonemitten. So for example, cup, P, cub, B, web, again, B sound. It's very good if they have to distinguish similar sounds such as ch and sh. I know some languages have troubles with this distinction. For example, Spanish fights very hard to teach children, sometimes even teachers, to use this, these two sounds. So you can use phonemittens. And T and D, can you imagine practicing past tense of verbs? You just say a verb, they put it in past tense and they raise corresponding mitten. All class can be involved in this activity and you can easily see if they are correct or not. Okay, let's leave individual sounds and have a look at the rhythm. Is the rhythm important? Of course it is, because it teaches our learners to divide speech into comprehensible chunks, distinguish the number of syllables, which also helps the dyslexics, and recognition of words. So how to deal with the rhythm? Let's try or hear this one.
Strawberry, cherry, raspberry, plum, blackberry, apple and pear, yum, yum.
So this is a small rhythmical chant. And now you can have a look what I do with the children. Do you remember the chant? Strawberry, cherry, raspberry, plum, blackberry, apple and pear, yum, yum. So they get the set of cards and they have to place the cards in order of the chant. In combination, by the means of combination of pictures and the sound, they can easily remember the whole chant, which is very beneficial for them. But then I offer them 3 mats, big mats. One in a shape of a plum, one strawberry, and one raspberry or blackberry, it doesn't matter. But we will count the syllables. So plum, it's 1. Strawberry, which was a very big surprise for me. It's only 2 syllables. And raspberry or blackberry, it's 3. And now I ask the children to place the pictures according to the number of syllables. So they go like this: strawberry, cherry, raspberry, plum, blackberry, apple, and pear. Yum, yum. So they just analyze the language in terms of the number of syllables. Then I offer them those little cards. You can see the number of syllables, but I prefer this form so that they don't focus on color anymore, but on the number of claps. Yeah? And if they get used to this pattern, then I offer them the set of dominoes, which means if we have 2 circles, two claps, we can place that there: apple, lemon, orange. If we have 3 syllables, we can use pineapple, banana. I don't know if there is anything else. 3, raspberry, blackberry, sorry. And 1 clap: peach, pear, plum, grapes, yeah? So the children are able to think about the number of syllables in this way. With the older children, we can practice in these dominoes with animals or Christmas words, Halloween, clothes, whatever you can think of. So you can adjust your activity to the topic you are covering in your course book. Now we got ready for distinguishing the stress, which I found very difficult. And the teachers complain, sorry, I can't hear that, I don't feel it. So it's really important, because if you use a different stress on different syllables, then it's very difficult for the speakers of language to identify what you are going to say. So it brings comprehension. Then stressed syllables or words bring meaning. These are nouns, adjectives, full verbs, and a few others. Unstressed words, grammar and linking words, for example, auxiliaries, prepositions, pronouns, articles. I have, oh yeah, sorry, everything what is stressed is important. It's important to remember. So we can use this set of dominoes. Again, any possible topic you can think of. But I also use these little mats. I've got them here. I place them on the table. Sorry, again, upside down, because I can't see it. You can see them on your screen. It's very important so that the children know which side is the bottom side, from which side they are looking at the mat. Because if you can see at the first and the second mat in the second row, they might appear different if you look at them from the other side. So I asked my illustrator to make something like a small countryside, so you would never put the tree upside down, only I do, if I can't see that. And they are thinking about sentences that can be expressed with this pattern. For example, wait, don't stop, I've seen it, begin, keep quiet, what's the time? And even more complicated patterns, such as, don't you know him? Go to the gym, buy bread and fruit. She wants to ask, I can't believe you. Ben is a doctor. There is one thing I didn't tell you a few minutes ago, which words are stressed. But maybe you will notice it's auxiliaries in negative, don't, can't. So they become stressed because they deny everything. Yeah. So this is a very good activity, but I always hear from the teachers, sorry, I'm not able to do that. They place even the wrong number of syllables to the maths. And I was thinking hard about what is the reason for that. And then I realized it's nobody practiced with them. So they need to bring some more practice to their classrooms. So I started to think about another way. Look at this way. Cats catch mice. The cats catch mice. The cats catch the mice. The cats can catch the mice. The cats will be catching the mice. You see, the sentence is always of the same length. Only when we add the little grammar words, we have to squeeze them in between so that they don't consume the time allocated for this sentence, made of important words, cats catch mice. The rest is not that important. So children can see that even if some more words are added, the sentence has the same rhythm. And these are the stressed syllables or words. Yeah. How to teach this art? For example, with this one. And sorry, I forgot to place the song, so I'm going to sing you a song. How do you get to school? We go to school by bus. How do you get to school? We go to school by train. How do you get to school? We go to school by bike. How do you get to school? I go to school on foot. Really? Yes, I do. So, do you think if your children can sing this little song or chant, they would feel the stressed syllables? Definitely yes. If you reinforce that with clicking or banging into the desks or stamping on the floor, whatever. Yeah. Then I will show you another example. And now I want you to try at home. Get your fingers ready and let's go. Go to school, learn some facts, count your sums, meet your friends, draw a line, study squares, learn a rhyme, put up chairs, make some art, cut out shapes, read some lines, learn new words, quickly move, clean your place, take your bag, run downstairs. And you let them go home. So I think, I'm convinced that these little chants really help. I can strongly recommend Carolyn Graham's jazz chants, which is quite problematic if you teach British English. Yeah. So I'm sorry to say my materials are mostly British, English with a British accent. I cooperate with British speakers who recorded all those little chants, songs, sentences, examples, words, everything in the British accent. Yeah. And the last one, you can see even with very little children, we can practice the same. So again, fingers ready. In my room on the floor, there's a rug and a chair. On the wall by the shelf, there's a poster with a bear. Near the window, there's a desk where I sit and where I work. In the cupboard, there are plates and a spoon, knife and fork. So in the picture version, they can easily see when to click. And if you want to ask why work is not a picture, sorry, work is not in my 444 word database. So I decided to leave just the word here. Okay, so that's stress. And now let's speak about rhyming. Rhyming combines similar sounds and a rhythm, makes children to remember text in sentences, and they learn to imitate the language. So, oh yeah, sorry. And we have the bonus. If we add the tune, then we create a good mood, positive atmosphere in the classroom, and the children start to smile. Have you ever seen a person who was singing and throwing at the same time? No, because throwing involves many more muscles in face than smiling. So it's difficult to throw while singing. So they suddenly release their muscles into a smile, which is very positive. And moreover, it creates the substance called serotonin, the hormone of happiness. That's why everybody is happy while singing. So let's have a look at this. With little children, I always do a riddle dictation. I offer them a set of picture cards and I read the riddles. For example, what do you sit on that rhymes with where? And of course, it's chair. What do you play games with that rhyme with heart? And it's card. What do you do with paper that rhymes with nut? Cut. So I've got a set of riddles and the children just place the pictures, which practices their listening skills, manipulation. They are involved, they want to find the correct answer and so on. So it becomes quite enjoyable. With older students, I do a different activity with the very same text. Sorry, I tried to hold these things. Yeah, okay. So you can see these are the riddles and these are the answers. So I deal the strip cards with the riddles among the players. Each one takes one riddle. Sorry. They read. What do you play games with that rhymes with heart? If they don't know the answer, they go to the desk where I deal the answer cards. They find the word, just remember it, and go and mingle. And now two players meet and one says, what do you play games with that rhymes with heart? And if the partner knows, he or she says card. If they don't know, this person reveals the secret message. And the partner says, who do you meet that rhymes with and? And you might know that it's friend. And then the important thing, they swap the cards and contact another person, which means that now they are reading another riddle and they are experts because they know the answer from their previous player. So they become responsible for correctness of the answer, which is really very fantastic, and the children just love it. And the teachers too, I have to say. Okay, so here you can see the cards or the text to the previous activity. Yeah. Actually, there are 138 similar riddles. This is a school set, then I have a kitchen set, I have clothes set, Christmas set, Halloween set, whatever you might need during the school year. And this is a chain game. You can see 2 pages of the game. You cut the cards in individual shapes and deal the cards among your students. The one who has the traffic lights with the green light knows that it's his turn or her turn to start. So they read boat. The person with the goat at the top of his or her card says goat, house. And the person with mouse goes mouse, twig, pig, snake, cake, car, star, cat. And they show that they distinguished the rhyming word and they offer another one for the next person to join. And the game goes like this in every direction. Even the teacher doesn't know who is going to speak until it gets to the last card map, and that's the end of the game. It's a very powerful game because children can't see anything, they just hear the word. And they have to think about the rhyming, about the same sound. So they play it very easily and very often if you practice these words. Okay, rhyming puzzles. So this is a rhyming puzzle with 6 parts. We cut it into small parts and children get the circle and 6 parts. They have to combine bear, pear, square, there, hair, chair. But there are many more riddles and I've got one here and you can see they get this. They get 4 words, bug, mug, rug, hug, and they have to place them around. Of course, they don't have just one set. I usually combine 2 or 3 sets with the different sounds, especially at the, ending with the sounded and unsounded sound, or voiced and unvoiced. Yeah. So this is the way how I turn their attention on the very last sound, which is sometimes neglected, especially in my mother tongue, which is Czech. We can say dog and mean the animal, and we never say dog, which is correct. And the students wonder, why should I say it differently? It's dog. No, it's not. It's a garage for sheep, yeah, or for boats. So we have to teach them dog, bag, leg. Yeah? So this game also helps very much. And of course, all those little chants and rhymes and tongue twisters, rhyming tongue twisters, and so on and so forth. So, wow, almost finished. So you see, my worksheet sample was from primary pronunciation box, and all the other activities were taken from pronunciation basket, which I published with our Association of Methodology Teachers in the Czech Republic. And it's downloadable from my website. So, thank you very much. And now I'm ready for your questions.
Okay, Sylvia, we've got lots of questions for you. The first one,
okay.
The first one is, are there any helpful books for teaching pronunciation?
Well, I don't know if for children or for teachers, for students or teachers. For teachers, there are definitely many. I remember from my studies, Michael Roach. Sorry, I don't remember the title of the book, but it was very famous at our university. I'm sure there are many those resource books in many publishing houses. primary pronunciation box being one of them. Unfortunately, I have to say there are some mistakes sometimes. Even I make mistakes, but Cambridge University Press should check their materials first. I cannot give you an example, but I remember when I laminated the activity and then gave it to students, and they said, no, it's not possible to do it. And I realized there were different words, and really it didn't work. So first, before you print, check for the correctness.
Great, thank you. And the next question is, how can a teacher who is a non-native speaker improve her pronunciation?
Well, in the same way as I did this time, because we can do these activities, offer them cards, we demonstrate what they are supposed to do, and then they catch the idea and start thinking on their own. So they join in the activity. Yeah. So every time we offer a new word, any new word, first we have to make sure we pronounce it well. And then we can think, if they mispronounce it, then we can think about suitable activity, how to turn their attention on the correct sound.
Great, thank you. And the next one, how can we correct students' mistakes regarding pronunciation?
Well, I would never do that directly in front of the whole group. Definitely, I would make a few remarks, and either individually, if the time permits, or I would offer the activity that contains the same feature or same pronunciation thing, so that they practice more. And I would demonstrate, I would make sure that I exaggerate the pronunciation so that they can realize what the difference is.
But being very sensitive to them, so.
Definitely, yeah.
Great, thank you. And a question about the basket activity. How can we turn the basket activity into something more appealing for adults and teenagers? So they clearly like it, but want to know how to grow it up a bit.
Yeah, actually, I think that the good teacher can use even the very childish materials to teach adults. So I was quite glad that my illustrator, a young Slovak teacher, made the pictures halfway childish and acceptable even for older students. So I'm sure you can use it with any age.
Great. And a question about another area that they want your opinion on. What are your thoughts on sound walls, and how would you incorporate them?
About, I'm sorry, about what?
Using sound walls.
Sorry, I have never heard of it.
We are not sure about what they are. If you are the person who wrote that question, Lisa, could you write a little more in the chat box explaining what they are, and we'll come back to that question. The next question is, how could you start teaching pronunciation to students in secondary schools who have never seen this area of language?
Well, actually, it's quite difficult because it's too late. All their pronunciation mistakes are fossilized. I remember first being in England teaching that international program, and I uttered the sentence, "Repetition is the mother of wisdom." And of course, I knew it's bad, but it was so abrupt that it just flew out of my mouth, because it was a fossilized mistake. And my daughter many times said, "Mom, how do you say that? It's not correct. You should say repetition." So it's really very late to start with pronunciation in the secondary level. But anyway, all those activities you could see work even with teenagers. I even drove a motorcycle with that sound with them, And they went, oh, she's crazy, but I enjoy the lesson. I don't mind. I can be as crazy as they think, but if it works, then I did my duty.
Brilliant, thank you. Now a slightly more meaty or weighty question. Considering the mutual intelligibility, academics demean the significance of teaching pronunciation. They say that people are already communicating even with their strong accent and poor pronunciation. Where do you stand on this?
I don't know if I caught all the points of the question because I'm a visual person. Never mind, I will try to answer. If it is not the case, just let me know.
Well, I think that it's academics are saying that people are already communicating with a strong accent and poor pronunciation. So
yeah,
what is the use of it? Yeah.
Actually, it is my case because I was a self-student and I learned the pronunciation from those Czechish, Czenglish ways of transcription. And then I realized I don't sound as a native speaker. So I started to listen very much to similar things such as Jazz Chants by Caroline Graham, songs by Beatles, which are fantastic in terms of pronunciation. It's really great. Yeah. Then I started to transcribe the words by the means of those machines such as Fortran Edit. You type in the words and it shows you the transcription, and you can even choose British or American. And then I was shocked to reveal how many words I pronounced incorrectly. So I can only suggest teach them phonetic transcription and offer them enjoyable phonetic games with this transcription.
Great, thank you. And I think the last question, getting an update on the sound walls. Lisa says that it's a newer program used by a lot of teachers in the United States to help transform reading instruction and get students to better visualize the articulation of the sounds. The sounds are separated into sounds rather than through the alphabet like traditional word walls.
Yeah, actually, I was never a fan of those pictures showing what the tongue does, what the teeth do, and so on, because sometimes I didn't understand how to make the sound. Even if I knew how to make it, I couldn't recognize it from the picture. So if it is the case, then I'm a bit skeptical. For some people, it doesn't work. But if you...
it might be talking about the relationship of spelling to sound, though, and grouping all the spellings in the same sound area.
Yeah, definitely. There is another technique called jollyphonics, but it turns the attention of the visual interpretation of a word and how to read groups of letters. But I would strongly suggest do phonetic transcription first and then this jollyphonics, because it turns the attention towards reading. And I'm a great fan of the idea that first the children have to learn to listen and to react and learn how to think in the target language. And only then they should be taught to distinguish the written form. Because if they do everything at once, oh, it's something like this. And they are, some of them definitely are not able to master it. So I suggest steps. First listening, communication, then after at least 2 years, reading and writing. And definitely after they master the art of writing and reading in their mother tongue. And even if there is a different letters, then they should start with writing the letters first. But it's not about pronunciation only. Yeah, it's the complex problematics of teaching young learners.
And I think we've just got one very quick question here. What about the aspects of connected speech? Can you share some tips to apply with our students?
Oh yeah, I've got one. It's called the apple techniques. For example, if you say the small text, 1 apple, 2 apples, 3 apples, 4 apples, then you have 3 cases of intrusive sounds, for example. Yeah. So the children can learn to hear 1 apple. That's okay. 2 apples. 2 apples. What? 2 apples. We have to say it in one go. Yeah. 3 apples. A small sound y appears, and 4 apples. R sound is there. But connected speech is also that chance with these little texts. Yeah, when you add the words into a simple sentence, and you can see how it must comply with the time. Yeah, it must take the same time, so you have to connect it together. I don't know if I answered to the satisfaction of the
Always.
Okay, I'm going to jump in now as well. My name is Gemma Archer, everyone. I'm a coordinator alongside Adam, who's been hosting. Can I also just thank Sylvie for what a fantastic presentation and some great tips and techniques and some really interesting answers. And I can only echo what other people have been saying. I teach adults, and I think lots of these techniques my adult students would be thrilled to play with. So really a great presentation. Thank you so much for your time, Sylvie. Before everyone runs away, we do have a couple of pieces of information for you. First of all, if you'd like a certificate for this session, I'm putting it in the chat box now. Please download your certificate and add your name to the certificate. This link will be live for a couple of hours, so please download it in the next 2 hours or so, and then we will close the link. So please make sure you do get that in time. The other thing is we will be putting the recording of this session up probably in the next 48 hours. So if you want to recommend it to someone, or you'd like to go and to watch it one more time, you can catch it on the PronSIG YouTube channel. Again, I'm going to put the link in the chat box. We also have all of the recordings from our previous webinars on our YouTube channel, so feel free to go and rewatch Sylvie, but also any of our other webinars. And we do try and do these at least once a month, and they will continue for as long as people are willing to share with PronSIG and the wider pronunciation community. So do keep having a look on there, and as I said, within 48 hours we will be making this live. I see a couple of people are still asking for the certificate link, so I'll post the certificate link once again. It's in the chat box, everyone. One final thing, one important thing to say before we finish. On October the 4th, PronSIG are having our very first fully online conference, and I'm going to share with you some information about that. So I hope you can all see that. This is the title page of our conference. It is, the title of the conference is Equality and Inclusion in Pronunciation Teaching. And in our conference, we'll be talking about how to teach pronunciation really in the face of prestige native speaker models, which abound in a lot of pronunciation content. We've got a fantastic lineup of speakers that we are finalizing this week. So please do keep in touch with us on our social media and on our website. We're going to be posting links to the schedule, the lineup of speakers very, very soon. And we'll also be providing a registration page if you'd like to book yourself a ticket. One really exciting thing, if you are a PronSIG member, you can attend this conference for free. The whole day will be free to you if you're a PronSIG member. If you are not, you can still attend for a small fee. Again, that will be available to you just shortly once the registration page has been finalized. So as I said, just keep an eye on our social media pages, and on our website, we will have that information for you very shortly. So once again, just thank you to Sylvie and to all of you for attending and sharing your ideas and your questions. It's been a fantastic session. I'm sure you'll all agree. And we hope you'll join us again next month. We have another really exciting session lined up. Thank you very much, everyone.